Hey, it's Quinn with PTSD while black, and PTSD is real. Long time, no chat, no update, whatever. Just thought I would do a check-in because, hey, I recognize today that I am having some PTSD woozies and like headaches and stuff like that. So just kind of doing a check-in. In the news, this area in Middle Tennessee with all this flooding. I grew up in that area as a kid, and I'm recognizing that I have secondary trauma. I'm like, oh, watching all the videos, seeing all the photos is like, oh, I used to walk around there, or that was an old neighborhood, or I used to shop there, and seeing like everything that's destroyed is like, damn. And I found myself crying this morning. I woke up, couldn't sleep anymore, and I just found myself crying. And I think part of it is that I know I still have family that lives out in that area, and I'm glad that they're safe. That's cool. 22 people dead in such a small town is just so ouch. It's traumatizing. I'm like, I felt this morning, like all of the fear, the anger, the hurt, the confusion of everyone there. And I was just overflowing in emotion and crying. And then just knowing that, because this is PTSD while black, the videos, a lot of the areas that were hit were low-income housing areas. And just seeing how that was set up, and you got people who could barely afford to pay for a place to live, and now that cheapest place to live in town is gone. So it's, wow, what's going to happen? Yeah. The rush of feelings were like, I was admitting to myself that I really love my mom. I was admitting to myself that I really had taken her for granted, and all that she kind of had to go through in that area. And admitting, though, that the town was not a kind place for me and people who look like me. I feel the humanity of everyone and the loss that's happening. And like just feeling that very loss for them, kind of thing. It's so hard to explain. But that was the PTSD feeling that was coming up in me, because they've gone through floods, I think, in 2010 and then in 2019, and then here it is again. And I could just put myself in the shoes of the people there, because I've lived and walked through areas that are there when I was really little. So it's like, wow. Yeah, it's wow. And just overwhelming. And like all day long today, I've had to kind of go through this funky phases of allowing myself to cry, allowing myself to just sleep, and allowing myself to be angry and rail at God and cuss God out and just be like, what the hell are you doing kind of situation. We need to talk this out. I don't understand what direction you're taking here. And it's been interesting allowing myself to have these different experiences, and recognizing too that I'm possibly weaving in for myself some more trauma when it rains, probably, or floods an area, by allowing myself to keep looking at the news and to keep reading things. I'm like, you know what, the people who are missing, I don't know, but I'm like, I'm trying to find the names of everyone who did die, because I know some people or friends, a family, when I was growing up, at least one person, at least I know, has passed away. So yeah, it's like I'm trying to also see what's happening to the Black community in that area, because the news is only showing white faces, white presenting, but there's like a significant Black community in the area, and I'm just like, I'm not hearing anything about the lands there. I'm hoping that, like, where the 4 churches are in Richland Avenue, I'm hoping that they are far enough away from the creek, Trace Creek, I think, to not have been impacted. But there's like just no stories, of that. It's more of across the railroad tracks where the damage was. But it's like I'm rooting for everybody Black because I know we're going to have it a lot worse. I know what it's like being Black there. and being able to move forward. And so I'm like recognizing like the ways that I want to contribute right now are to make sure that the people in the low income housing areas that were hit badly too, to make sure that my money is going towards those areas helpful to recover. That's deep. Anyway, yeah. So I'm just dealing with some trauma from this, and I'm just trying to just feel it and accept it for me, and then just let it go. So I'm going to allow it to transition. I'm not going to restrain myself from choosing to watch something. And I will, though, add in that I'll just call people, check on people, love on people. That's one thing that I can do to balance it, because there's still this needing of information of how everyone is. So I'm giving myself permission to do that for myself. But at the same time, like, there are projects that I was supposed to be working on that I just put completely on pause today. And I'll get to them when I get to them, but I'd like to be able to weave in the being capable and also being present, because I can tend to do workaholism to avoid my feelings, or being completely stopped by being stuck in what's going on and focusing only on trauma. So I'm either completely stopped, or I'm just going go work. So I'm giving myself permission to have balance of both, I guess is what I'm saying. Because I want to refuse. I want to refuse no longer feeling my feelings or acknowledging my feelings. I want to refuse continuing that type of behavior. So I'm going to let me feel my full range of feelings. I'm going to stay connected with loving and wonderful people. And I am going to work as best as I can and just be okay with that. All right. So that's just today's check-in. And yeah, till next time. Peace.